so good to have like insight, because as we move into this next level, Deborah, I think creativity is a big part of the manifestation on this earth plane, and that's why I'm so happy to introduce you as a friend, as a partner in manifesting. And we did a great Making Contact series, me and Debra, that was, I feel, groundbreaking in bringing the phenomena to people. But Debra, you are tireless. You are. I mean, I get texts at 5:30 in the morning. I don't know how she does. I heard other people do too. I thought it was just me. I was special, but I heard you text like everyone, or lots of people at 5:30 in the morning, because you're like a historian in a sense. You are keeping track of the evolution of consciousness. That's one way of putting that. And you've been on it since the Harmony Festivals, I guess, for 30 years. So the wisdom you carry and the information has been honed through a very fine sense of importance. That's why every time you send me a video, I will look at it. I may not agree with everything, but I will look at it, because like, you're sending it to me because you have this sense of importance of how our community is expanding into this next level. So coming out finally with your Ascension tips, I think, are really the next level for us who want to know what this next wave of consciousness is all about. What is it all about, and how do we access this realm that you're talking about? So I'm here with Debra Giusti. If you haven't if you don't know her, you should know her. She started the was it Saturday Night Live with Scott Gatamich, which was a lot of people's go-to salvation during the lockdown. So Debra, I'm really excited what you have here. We'll make this a little bit of an interview. I mean, I know Ascension is your probably favorite topic, and you've been tracking it. So I'm really curious, because I haven't really had a chance to, you sent part of your Ascension tips to me, but I really want to hear what you have to say. So where should we start? Debra Giusti, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Alan. Yeah, I would say Ascension is my passion, like to the core. And it has been from the beginning. When I produced the Harmony Festival for 33 years, from 1978 to 2011, that was really part of the core evolution of what we're experiencing now. As people, it's kind of the 60s movement, woke up and said, hey, we have a new reality. We have an expanded consciousness. We want to embrace health. We want to embrace all communities, our earth, the ecology, and all of that. So those were the seedlings of this consciousness that's escalating so much right now. And so I've definitely been on the front lines of it all. I'm kind of the one that goes out there and tries everything, listens to everyone, and says, hey guys, the water's fine. Come on, jump in,
Right.
So
you jump into the deep end. But
yeah.
Just define, before you go out, what Ascension is. A lot of people throw that word out. A lot of people have different meanings. What is it to you? What does that mean?
Definitely. Well, it is the accelerated spiritual process that's currently taking place within all planetary life forms during this special evolutionary cycle. And for us, it's a step-by-step process initiated through an awakening and then an up-leveling into higher dimensional existence and quantum consciousness. And that happens as we go through our healing and we up-level our vibration, we clear dense trauma, and we activate our light body and evolve basically into fifth dimensional frequencies. And so we gain an access to our higher self, and we experience deep soul embodiment, and we start to live in a state of oneness. So that's where we're going.
So it's a physiological, emotional consciousness shift, but it includes the body, right?
It's everything. Everything is connected. And yes, it includes our human suit, because that will up level in vibration, and all the other energy bodies that we have that the masters and the spiritual teachers talk about, and a connection with source. which we've been cut off from as we incarnate here kind of with amnesia to everything. And then we're having to wake up as we go along and go, oh my God, you're my soul family. Oh my God, I can, open up my consciousness and operate my telepathy. It's all that awakening that we're happening now. And what's so special now is in past times, it's been ascension individually, as we've known as we study the ascended masters, obviously Yeshua and all the other ascended masters, Saint Germain, Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, have gone through this process. But what's happening now is we are moving into a sector of the universe where everything is evolving forward and the whole planet has the opportunity to ascend. So we're going through a planetary ascension with humanity, which is wonderful because we can all support each other. And as one ascends, it supports the other ascent. The quickening tends to move forward. So as we're on the front lines, moving forward with our ascension process, it becomes easier for everyone else to go through their process. But it is a process alchemically, physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, a transmutation. So it's definitely that.
So you've, over the years, because I know you've been tracking, you've been on panels, you've been leading panels, so you've tracked certain key tips that people can follow that will bring them closer to this elevation.
Yeah,
right?
I went through my own dark night of the soul that really just focused me on what the fuck is going on, and seeking spiritual and connection with source. And from that, I studied with a lot of ascension teachers and, some of the top ones that are happening. I'm one that likes to track everything. And so I saw similar things that they were all saying. Now, a lot of the teachers get their information from different sources, from an inner knowing, from galactics, from ascended masters, from their higher guidance. But a lot of them said the same thing. And I saw a pattern of where we're going. And for me, I thought, wow, let me put that out in a series of tips to make it really easy for people to understand, because it's happening to every one of us. As your life, as you awaken, as you transform, as you start to open up psychically, this has happened to everyone on the planet. And if they can see these tips and like where we're going, then you go, okay, I get it. This is what's happening to me. It's not that my life is falling apart and I'm a loser. No, my life is falling apart because I'm getting ready to upload to another level. And where I was is not where I'm going. So it can give you more confidence on the path to where you're going. And really, the ascension is different for everyone. We have our own journey. It's our higher self that's leading the way, but there's certain stages that everyone evolves to. And
that is great. No, and after you do that, maybe I'll give my top 10 benefits of ascension.
Okay.
But you do know you have a lot to share, but I'll just throw that in after. So yes. So so first, I guess people have to be aware that this is a possibility. I mean, there's a lot of people just living a life out there. They haven't been necessarily in our community, and they probably never even heard the word. They heard it in reference to Jesus or whatever, but where do people, but you do your own process. I'm just wondering where.
Oh, you're right, Alan. The first thing is awakening. Basically, people wake up. And I'm going to send a link to the Ascension tips now, because people can actually download it and go along with me on it. So they're free. You can download it at ascensionnow.org. And when I've done presentations, people just download it and they can see exactly where it is. And it's really simple. It's 22 tips in 4 different sections. And yes, the first section is awakening. And I'm going to show the cover too, so you can just see what it looks like. So that's the cover, the Ascension tips. So you can get, like Joan shared, a beautiful graphic image of what we're talking about, because nice. Art is really important to all of it. It's another way to assimilate all the information. So yes, section 1 is awakening. And so basically the awakening, again, is different for everyone. Sometimes you'll wake up, you'll come into embodiment with the knowing. Sometimes you'll have something in your life that'll just key you to awakening that this matrix is not all there is to life. And sometimes you'll have a really intense situation that knocks you on the head, like a near-death experience, which will totally wake you up. So everyone goes through an awakening where they realize all that they've been programmed and all that they see in this human reality is not all there is. And then you start to develop a passion for, okay, well, what else is there? And the passion starts to grow within you. And then you start to, so that's the first step, is really to fully embrace your awakening. So when you wake up and you realize you're on a path and you feel this passion, then really go for it. And as your passion puts things out, then that starts to open the doorways of what comes forward in your life to bring forth this awakening and all the information, the people, the teachers, and all that moves forward.
You know, let me just add one thing. You know, you have to just ask. You have to just, I mean, for that was my thing. I asked, there must be something more than just the material world there. And when you ask, the universe is compelled to answer you. And so that's just asking for the next level, or what's more in my existence, will start to activate an ascension.
Definitely. It's an active process. So you don't just sit there and watch the TV. It's you engage, you participate, and you call it forward. And you be aware, because sometimes you're walking through a bookstore and a book falls off the shelf, right? So that's spirit and synchronicity saying, hey, this is what you need to know next. Or for me, you look on your phone and a video starts playing, and that's a message for what you need to see. So definitely, it's a very much a participatory process. And what I'm going to do is go through a few of the ascension tips that are key, but realize I'm only doing a few. So if you download the ascension tips, you'll go through them and you'll be able to see. And a lot of them you'll know, so it'll be just like check, check, check. And other ones you'll go, oh, and you'll start to remember, because a lot of this is a remembering, because we know so much in our quantum consciousness, and it's only in this 3D limited reality that we're currently in, that we're breaking out of, that we have so much more knowledge of the universe and where we're going. So another thing is to be prepared for a complete transformation in your life. So when you fully embrace your awakening, be prepared that things are going to change, because your higher self is guiding you to up-level your life to the next level on all levels. So if all of a sudden a good friend of yours that you've had forever, all of a sudden you're not seeing each other, and it's like, what's going on? Well, maybe that friend isn't in your destiny for your next path. A new soul tribe is going to come in. So you can't argue with spirit when things change, or you lose your job because it's not what you're supposed to be doing, because something else is coming in to bring you to another higher level. And one of the next tips is to start to be aware that you're a multidimensional being and we are all one. So start to think way beyond, again, this 3D reality that we've been taught, to all the other levels. And of course, everyone here on Portal to Ascension is well aware of that. And that's what we're talking about in this conference. And another important thing is really embrace nature as your teacher and your healer, because nature has the energy that can heal you and teach you and work with you. So nature and Mother Earth are really important. And another important tip in section 1 of Awakening is to cultivate an ongoing daily meditation and spiritual practice. And I remember myself, when I started going forward, I would start to meditate and then stop and then start. Well, this is like brushing your teeth now, to sit with spirit and really tune in and allow spirit to download and allow information to come through and to sync up with the higher energies is really important. Nonstop. You know, you can't stop. Again, it's really part of the daily practice. And you'll get, as you're in the process, you'll get so much information and ideas on how to do your meditation process that you can keep evolving. And one of the things that's really important in stage 1 is take steps to raise your vibration ongoing in everything, in what you eat, in what you say, in what you do. And you'll start to be aware if you start to do something, you'll be at this highest state, because that's what starts to activate your DNA and starts to get you to participate at the higher levels. So if you're in a high vibe,
go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
If you're in a high vibe and you do maybe some pattern and all of a sudden it takes you down, notice that energy that goes down. Notice you just ate that food, that didn't do well for you, that you kind of go to, and that takes your energy down, which doesn't mean you have to be perfect all the time, but be aware and try to keep yourself at this higher vibration, because that's when more opportunities come into you, more synchronicities happen, more energy gets downloaded and all of that. So keep your vibration high.
I think that's great. No, I just wanted to say it's also what we think. That is what we say, what we're seeing, but how we're talking to ourselves, the self-talk. So you're reminding me a lot of good things. So thanks, Debra. I didn't mean to interrupt, but I just...
No, totally. Yes. Body, mind, spirit, high, raise your vibration. So definitely self-talk, and everything that you think. And again, these tips, every one of them is a whole experience, is a whole practice. So these are just to remind you as you go forward. And then in your awakening state, you're going to start to get downloads. You're going to start to get visions. So really start to realize that your higher guides and galactic universe are going to start to communicate with you as you awaken and open up. So really tend to look at that and look at your visions, look at your dreams, look at what comes in from the other way, because they're messages for you. So be aware of that. And this is a big one. Master your fears, practice non-attachment, and develop trust in your higher self. So this is a big piece. And so many of us in this current, world in the pandemic have had the challenge to really not buy into the fear, but keep moving forward really positively. So life gives you all kinds of experiences to do that. And especially when something challenging comes up in your life, don't succumb to the fear. You can have the emotional experience, but know that spirit is going to provide whatever you need to go forward that. And maybe it's a curveball to have you turn right. So look at all that. And one of the main things is what we were talking about recently is love, and especially self-love, because the divine is going to come in and take house in you, your divine self. And so you can't be doing negative self-talk. You really have to heal that negative self-talk and develop self-love. And that's what allows the vibration to raise and be in a higher vibration. And then also cultivate love, unconditional love for everything. That is really the fifth dimensional higher frequency, is the state of love. So it's important to experience love in everything. And that's just a few of the tips in section 1 of awakening. There's 22 tips altogether. So I invite you to download that, and we can go now to section 2. Or do you have any questions or comments?
Well, yeah, I think it would be great if you did a workshop, like we did a retreat, where we can actually practice this together.
Totally. You'd want to spend time with this. I am going to be doing some workshops with Portal to Ascension with one of my top Ascension teachers, Meg Benedicte, who was supportive in writing this. So this is just coming out, and this is also going to turn into a book with descriptions on all the tips and resources where you can get support around all of them. So you're seeing at the very beginning of this, and yes, we'll do a lot, and we'll go on your show as well, Alan.
Yeah, definitely. One question from John Marielle. He says, were you aware of the harmonic concordance or the harmonic convergence that around that time? Did that help you point the way, the concordance particularly? Do you know about that?
Totally. I mean, that was an amazing convergence of all of us who came here awakening now and coming together. And that kind of thing is going to be happening more and more as we go forward to what's escalating now towards creating the new earth. We're going to be coming together more and more all the time. And that's really one of the keys of the ascension, especially this ascension for humanity, because the more that we can unite our body, mind, spirit, the more that we can transition the world to the new earth. So all that's really important. So section number 2 is transmutation. And this speaks to the alchemical transformations in your life. And again, there's 22 tips here, and I'm just going to talk about a few of them to inspire your, and if you want to download them, I'm going to put it in the chat room again. Ascensionnow.org is where you can download this. And so the process of transmutation, at this point, it's really important to be in touch with your higher self, because your higher self is your guide on your ascension journey, and to have communication with your higher self and give your higher self permission to lead the way and bring you all sorts of gifts and information and synchronicities. And also be, again, aware that your life is going to completely transform. So number 1 is to begin to extract yourself and your energy from the global matrix program. It's being aware of what's happening in the 3D world, but don't totally be bound to it, and be able to live beyond it and see beyond it. And another tip is to completely master your energy. So start to really feel and experience yourself as an energy being, not just the human suit, and know how to work your energy, protect your energy, expand your energy, and be your energy body and live in your energy body. And again, all these tips are kind of expanded processes, but this is meant to inspire you to know where we're going. Another tip in number 2 is to really start to take care of all your bodies. And a lot of people have been on a really strong health process, because the more you can raise your vibration in your human body and get to a place of health, as well as all your other energy bodies, the more that you can rise in your ascension process. So be aware of your diet, be aware of what you eat that's toxic, be aware of cleansing programs, all that, which I'm sure a lot of you are aware of, but that's really key. And this is really, really important to undertake your shadow work. And this means, and this is why there's so much interest in trauma work now, because as a human collective, we're going through this process, ascension process together, and clearing the dense trauma is so important, because as you start to rise up, if the trauma comes up and pulls you back down, that's where you can't really go forward in the ascension process. So there's lots of people doing trauma work, shadow work, dealing with your ego, all of that you can work with. So you really start to understand and heal and deal with that core trauma, which leads into healing your core limiting beliefs, which is another important tip here. And I'm sure a lot of you have explored this, because some of us think, well, maybe I cannot do that. I cannot achieve that. But what's really true is that as expanded beings in our ascension process, we are unlimitless, especially as we get to anchor in all the other superpowers of the ascension process. So we have to deal with the programming of core limited beliefs and work on that. And then you start to develop your intuition. And that's a natural gift that we should all be able to use. And in 5th dimensional New Earth reality, we are all telepathic, and that's how we communicate. And as you know, that's, the higher galactics who are our teachers, and we are evolving towards being more like them. They communicate through telepathy. So that's what we need to start working with. And then also, as we've been talking about in this process here, is start to see and develop relationships with your soul family. You'll start to have people come into your life that'll be, wow, we are so aligned. We have on the same mission. We are synced up. And it's really important to develop your soul family around you and to start to work with and collaborate with your soul family. And that includes our galactic families, to be open and more aware of them. And what's also happening is the galactic star races are channeling healing energies to us. That's one reason why I get up in the morning and I do my meditations really early, because I can tune in to the energies that are coming in from the solar transmissions and what it feels to me from our galactic brothers and sisters that are helping us to move forward and up-level our vibration and activate our DNA. So being aware of that, and that's really important during really key portals, like the eclipses, like the equinoxes, and various times like that, to be really conscious of that and being open to it. And another really important tip in transmutation is to be aware of your guides, especially Ascended Master guides that are here to work with you. And as Alan says, you need to ask them for their support. But in my meditations in the morning, I bring in all my guides and all the Ascended Master guides that I feel very connected with, and request that they be with me on my team in all my business decisions, in my life decisions, and support me in that, because they are here to help us. Everything is all connected, as above, so below. So our evolution at this time supports everyone's evolution as we go up higher in the dimensions, in the universes. So on the higher planes, we're all working together. There's not this polarity that we feel now, and that's what we're going towards. And again, I want to end section 2 with love. Really, love is really the bottom line for everything. If you can get into the love frequency and approach life with love on everything, no matter the challenge, no matter what, you're way ahead of everything, because the love frequency is the 5th dimensional frequency and where we're going to, and what makes everything work so much better and flow. So again, there's 22 tips in transmutation. So you can go to the Ascension tips and
each
them all.
section has 22 tips, so there's 20.
Yes.
Oh, very smart. Yes. 22 is my favorite number. I was
okay.
So anyway, yes, continue, please.
Yeah, so the next one, it's getting really exciting now, is embodiment. Okay, so what we're talking about is not like in the past where the Ascended Masters would transition and go to another plane for their ascension. We are embodying this ascension now. So after you've gone through your healing and your clearing, and realize also this is not a linear thing, this is a holographic experience. So even though in our 3D limitation, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 to 22, this all happens simultaneously and spirals, you know, as you go towards your ascension. So embodiment, you are really bringing this ascension process into this embodiment now, which is so amazing. Because again, this hasn't happened on a planetary level for a long time. And this is what we have the opportunity for. And realize this is the organic ascension of Mother Earth and all the living life forms. So there are some other timelines, and this is a whole nother conversation, where it is not an organic ascension. And we are being told, if you put this device in you, if you get this certain thing, it's all going to take you to another superhuman level. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the organic ascension, where you actually activate from your soul and from your spirit forward. So we're talking about the organic ascension of Mother Earth, not AI, not an alternative agenda with that. And so as we go into the tips, I'll give 22 tips, a little preview of that now. So the first one is living in the now. So we've all heard this. Eckhart Tolle came forward and did that's transmission, but it's really true. As you are embodied, you are living in the now moment. And it's not just hearing this as a concept, but it's really being it. And then another tip is your body is going to start to regenerate. So as you are moving forward in the ascension process, you actually become younger because all your cells start to vibrate at a higher level. Once you detox, once you get all the pollutants and the trauma out, then your body starts to regenerate. We know that in other eras, humans lived for hundreds of years. Well, that's what we're moving towards now, if we can get to that process. And another key thing is living from the portal of your heart. Your heart is the gateway to the fifth dimension. So start to feel the portal of your heart being the center of where you move from, and let your heart teach you. We've had so many teachings now of how the heart is like a second brain. We'll start to own that and embody that and live that forward. And then that takes you to start to living more in the fifth dimensional reality, which is unity consciousness, which is where we can put all these superpowers and realities into place. And again, this is a whole conversation, so I'm just kind of giving you these ideas to help spark your memory of this. So you start to live more in the fifth dimensional reality than your three-dimensional polarity, restricted, limited reality. And life begins to be more magical. Things start to happen more in flow. When challenges come in, it's like, oh, okay, well, this may have something to tell me. Instead of it stopping you and limiting you and setting you back, you start to deal in a whole nother reality. And in the embody it phase, your superpowers start to come on. So you start going to the next level. So your awareness of your knowledge starts to come in, your telepathy, your connections with your guides, even bilocating and all the other superpowers that are meant to come in. So this is where you start to take those on. And what this really means is you are activating your DNA. So I think a lot of us know that the ascension process and what we've been talking about is about activating and having a full 12-strand DNA, where we come in and we only have 2 to 3 strands going. So to be consciously activating your DNA. Now, all these things of raising your vibration, of eating right, of consciousness, of prayer, will activate your DNA. And there's even special activations you can do for it. But that's what we're going towards, is getting from 2 to 3 strands to 12 strands, where everything starts to come on and you can actually live and be and experience living and being in the fifth dimensional reality. And this is where you activate your light body and your Merkaba Taurus. And so that's light body and light bodies, where you start to live more in your energy bodies than just thinking you're this human suit. And you start to be aware of and heal and improve and activate your light bodies. And again, there's 22 tips, so I'm only giving you a taste. And you begin to really know that you're serving humanity, that you come in with your gifts and your superpowers, and you really get into that. And you start to become the divine human. So, and the next stage is the divine human in the new earth, because that's what we're all here to do, is to birth and build the new earth. So in the Ascension tips, I gave some of the previews of what the new earth is going to be like. And this section is going to expand as we go forward with understanding what the new earth is going to be like. And so I have a few more minutes to go into the new earth, I assume.
Yeah, go for it, Debra.
Just a few more minutes. It's like, what's that, Neil? How long does Debra have?
3-4 minutes. Is that good?
Yeah, I can wind it up. So the new earth, this is going to be revealed to us so much more as we go forward. But what I've seen here and what I've heard from the Ascended Masters and downloaded, and again, I've had Ascension teachers check on this. So we are going to live in the awakened state in the new earth, in Christ consciousness, in the frequency of love. All is one. That is going to be the state of where we live. And our body is going to be somewhat physical, kind of pseudo-physical. It's going to be much less dense. It's going to be much higher vibration, and the body will be able to self-generate. And we will have all our memories from past lives, future lives, alternative lives. Isn't it kind of strange that we come in and we don't know anything in this life? Well, that's not totally normal, and it's not normal in the higher dimensions. We are going to know so much more about everything. We are going to be able to instantly manifest. So in the transmutation and state is where you learn how to manifest. Well, in this new earth, manifestation is going to be part of what we do. As we think, we can intend, and we can work on. That's why we're learning how to do this now. And everyone's going to communicate telepathically. So you've got to operate with honesty on everything, because nothing can be hidden like in 3D Earth, or it used to be hidden in 3D Earth. Everything's going to be out in the open. So we're going to live in total authenticity and move forward. And we're going to live in a different relationship with time. It's not going to be linear as we experience now. We're going to be able to exist in different levels of time and understand time and work with it so much more. We're not going to have money as we know it, something in the bank, and people who sit at the top of a pyramid of money. Our value is going to be how we contribute, and that's going to be instantly rewarded in terms of contributing to society and coming back. And as Alan started to mention, since we're not going to be having to deal with so much survival, because we're going to be able to instantly manifest and work in harmony with nature so that everything's going to be provided instead of the struggle that we have now, the arts are going to be so much more prominent, and what we create and the creative process is going to be so much more at the forefront of our life as people really dive into their creativity and see what they came here to do and really live their divine mission and contribute. So just like in past history on the earth, the Renaissance happened when things shift to a higher level. It's like that, it's similar to where there's explosion of Renaissance. And we're going to be in communication with all these civilizations that we're now talking about now. Not only our galactic brothers and sisters, but our inner earth families. And we're going to be part of members of, as we're here creating organizations, and we're connecting with Soul Tribe, we're going to be much more engaged as an evolved humanity with our galactic brothers and sisters. And again, love, compassion, peace, and harmony reign supreme at all time. That's we don't have to bring it up in a conference and remind people of love. It's just going to be the way it is and the way it happens. So that's how we're moving forward. And again, there's 12 more tips in that section. And as I move forward, I'm clear that there's going to be a section 2 as everything gets downloaded of what the new earth is going to be about. And I am going to do some workshops with Neil and PortalToAscension to go much deeper into this so we can all understand it. And I will be coming out with a book that will have description on all the tips as well as resources. So a lot of the Ascension teachers will be listed in the book so that you can have access to the ones that you feel connected with. And they will have articles in it. So that's kind of my assignment for 2023 is to put out that book. But I will keep teaching about this. And I will be teaching with Meg Benedicte on PortalToAscension because she is one of my top teachers who's amazing. So
let's do a live retreat where people can live in the Ascension field,
Definitely. Definitely. That's what we're meant to do, because we all teach each other, and being together like this is how we all remember, basically, and how, and we come forward with our gifts.
Can I tell you, not to discount anything you said, but can I tell you one of the tips that I have?
Yeah.
No more laundry.
No more dirty laundry.
No more dirty laundry. No more eating out. No more eating in general,
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to hold you to these next month. So
and also my last one is when you say, I'm out of here, you really mean it. So anyway, it's a few. But besides, Debra, that was great. And I think more as you, get deeper into the Ascension field, more comes to you. So this is like the beginning of this process of ascending and having people have a roadmap. That's what's so great. You have the ways people can live that add to their auric field. So that's what I think. Thanks so much.
I'm definitely in process. Recently, I've gone through some, just in the last couple of days, some Ascension activations. And this is where spirit kind of takes over, and it clears you out, it detoxes you, and you go through this energetic up-leveling. And I used to have them back when, and I just went through it again. So I know that spirit is getting me ready for the next level, and that's part of it too. It's really, again, an alchemical process. It's pretty amazing. And I also had a clearing of my property. Anything that was not of the higher level had to go, which was one of my friends. And I'm going, oh my God, but really that person wasn't of the level that I'm going to now with what I'm doing here now. So he's going on to his path and everything's good once you get through it. So it's definitely, you know, feet on the ground in process with the ascension process.
Exactly. Debra, thank you so much.
Thank you, Neil. Love you and all that
Debra,
you're saying.
I just want to pop on because you are such a soul sister to me and say thank you for giving that power pack presentation with the grace that you embody. And I wanted to share with you that you were being talked about the other day, and the hosts were saying that you embody ascended mastery, that you, Alan, I think it was you that said that, wasn't it? We were talking about you as an ascended master walking on earth. So I just wanted to share that was such a beautiful presentation, and it's tools that all of us really need to hear and practice more often. So thank you for the reminder and for just being you. Thank
And
you
we
so
are
much.
all doing this ascended master dance. That's the point of this ascension. So everyone's doing that. Everyone on this portal to ascension, if you're here now, you're very gifted and you are on the front lines. And it's really important for all of us to walk forward and be teachers, because as we go forward, we help everyone else on the planet. And this is what's happening now. So I honor everyone that's here on this broadcast now. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you, Debra. Victor, any comments from your perspective?
Just feeling this immense amount of love and unity and family in this entire group. And it's something that we really need right now. We need to share.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much, Debra. I love you.
All right. Thank you. Love you, Michelle.
Thanks. Thanks, Debra.
After 3 years of having to produce the Portal to Ascension conference online, we have been waiting for this moment. The Portal to Ascension conference is returning live and in person. Join us at the Marina Village in San Diego, California, April 21st to 23rd, 2023. As massive shifts are happening on the planet and hidden truths are being uncovered, we are piecing together the fragmented parts of our existence and timeline. At Portal to Ascension, we are dedicated to full circle awareness of the truth of who we are and remembrance of our connection to the cosmos. This is showtime. There is no holding back. Now is the time for us to harmonize the frequencies and create unity and peace on Earth. We are deprogramming from an outdated matrix system, re-educating and remembering an inherent truth that connects us all. As we come together, we activate our truest potentials, individual gifts, and collective resolve. We are ushering a whole new reality that we know is possible and is waiting for us to embrace it. Join founder Neil Gore and the entire Portal to Ascension team with hosts Alan Steinfeld, Michelle Anderson, and Joan of Angels over these 3 days, April 21st to 23rd, 2023. We will experience musical performances by Larissa Stowe and the Shakti Tribe, Vox Angeles, Share the Light, Admiral Apollo, and Torquemji. This conference features incredible luminaries such as JJ and Desiree Hurtak, Adam Apollo, Carolyn Corey, Robert Schock, Linda Moulton Howe, Robert Edward Grant, Barbara Lamb, and many more. Register now at ascensionconference.com. It is time for humanity to awaken.